That's a good question. The reason is, if I would have been good in football, I would have played football and I would have become a professional. If I would have done that in tennis, I would be doing the same. So then you're not good enough in competing with the rest. You pick up something else. And that's for sports, But then the reason eventually was, traveling was another thing. Using a bicycle was a logical conclusion that it has to do a bit with sports, which because I was playing football before, and because money. Transport you have to pay for. A bicycle, sportive and cheap. Well, the first journey, yes, that was just after my. Yes, no. The bicycle, right after the war, you had to bicycle to work, until, yes, and then the motorcycle came, and then the car came.
Traveling was not common.
No, that's true. It wasn't very common. It is simply connected with sports. Then to use something where you use your own locomotion, your own power.
Inspired by sports, by Tour de France, maybe?
Not at all. Cycling has nothing to do with my using a bicycle. I cycle sports, I'm aware that I'm always connected with the cycle industry and cycle sports because I'm using a bicycle, and I can't escape from it. But it's completely wrong. This has nothing to. I'm excited about traveling. The bicycle turned out to be the form of transportation. That's cheap, and I mean, it's a fantastic passport. You come on a bicycle to people, you can't be a bad guy. You are, if you work, you want to get them, you use you sweat, then you must be a good guy. It's just, it turned out to be the passport, and people, I'm not DiCaprio, so people would not, for that reason, stare at you, but they see the bicycle. That's why it's so nicely painted and the names and everything on it. It's a conversation starter, and it's a goodwill, immediately making goodwill with the people that you encounter, and with the goodwill you get the help of the people. And then that was important because I had never money in my pocket, And also, I mean, nowadays people go around the world. However, at that time, there were so few, and people were looked at you differently, and they were willing to help when they knew what you were doing. Yeah. And it was I mean, people do a journey today for 1 year. They have saved the money, they have good equipment, but they don't think of being able to finance their journey while they are traveling. I didn't know if I could do that, but I learned as I started to find the way, and that's actually why it turned into years and years of traveling, because I didn't need to go home and go back to the factory and get the money maybe to start again. But that was another problem, because when you go back, a woman comes along, and then the family comes along, and then the obligation comes along, and suddenly that's it. You can make your 1 month of holiday every year, and that's about it. But I managed to find the money, and then suddenly it was, I'm not going to go back to the factory. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Well, I mean, I picked a profession. There was no choice, really. Education was not, just after the war, It was like, your father, what do you want to learn? You want to be something in your life. My father was a carpenter. You want to be a carpenter? During his time, I had to help him, always handing the tools to him up to midnight because he had a little shop, and I wasn't going to be a carpenter. No. Okay, you had a choice. There's a fitter, a tool maker, and a turner. These three professions were available. You can start in October with the tool making. I said tool making sound better than the other two. Sounded a little bit better, so I choose tool making, and I went through the 3.5 years of apprenticeship of tool making.